Radio Cayman time check now 7:29. This time check brought to you by our friends at Burger King.
See The Mandalorian and Grogu only in cinemas on May 21st. Step inside a world of adventure with The Mandalorian and Grogu at Burger King. Purchase a limited edition mug inspired by The Mandalorian and Grogu with every galactic Whopper meal, built for hunger of galactic proportions. Also, for the young bounty hunters, discover an exclusive The Mandalorian and Grogu toy with a King Jr. meal. 8 toys in all while supplies last.
Burger King, this is your way.
Now you can listen to Radio Cayman everywhere.
Everywhere.
Can you hear me now? Everywhere. Everywhere.
Good. Yes, right from your Android or iPhone. Download the Radio Cayman app now on your Android or iOS phone.
The Radio Cayman app
is where you can listen to Radio Cayman everywhere you go.
Everywhere we go, we go. Everywhere we go, we go.
Find it in the Google Store, the Apple Store, or use the link at www.radiocayman.gov.ky.
Yes, now you can listen to Radio Cayman everywhere.
For the record, proudly brought to you by
Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. Doctor's Hospital, peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctor's Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. Kirk Market, experience a world of choice. JN Money, from abroad to Yad. And Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
We ask our listeners and viewers to avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
Live from Radio Cayman Studio.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you.
For the Record.
Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
With Orrett Connor.
Informative, impartial, insightful.
This is For the Record. And now, your host, Orrett.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Orlando, soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees, so fair. Today is Friday, the 15th day of May 2026, right here in the beautiful Cayman Islands. We do hope and we trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful, enjoyable evening. Those of you who are on our roads, whether you're a pedestrian, a cyclist, or if you're operating any type of motorized vehicle, we urge you to please be extremely cautious. Ensure that you observe the rules of the road, because the life you save may just be your own. For those of you who are celebrating a birthday today, or if you've celebrated one over the past few days, we want to wish you a happy birthday or a happy belated birthday, whichever is applicable, and to remind you that the For the Record birthday shoutouts brought to you by Coca-Cola and the Credit Union. Coca-Cola available across the Cayman Islands. You should accept no substitutes from generation to generation. Coca-Cola still a classic, Cayman classic. And the Credit Union. Credit Union looks forward to serving the people of the Cayman Islands for the next 50 years and beyond. Those of you who have lost loved ones, we want to extend our sincere condolences to you. We hope and we trust that your faith will help to carry you through these extremely challenging times, and that the memories of your loved ones will be a blessing. Those of you who are ill and are either at home or at a medical facility here in the Cayman Islands or overseas, we wish you a speedy recovery. And Mr. Joel Wilson, big shout out to you this morning again, our colleague here at Radio Cayman, Mr. Joel Wilson. Hope everything is going well with you also. So folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman, and by extension For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles as you traverse the busy and sometimes dangerous roads of the Cayman Islands into your places of work, wherever that may be. As you know, For the Record is a show produced by the staff and management of Radio Cayman, and it is geared towards keeping you abreast of issues as they arise and play out on the local, regional, and international scene. I'm your host, Orrett Connor, and you're welcome to join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. During that period, and this morning in particular, our phone lines will be open. We had some last-minute changes in terms of our scheduling today, so we won't have any guests in the studio with us, but we will entertain some of our guests on the telephone as well. We want to talk about, Heritage Month in the Cayman Islands, what has happened so far, what will be taking place, huge event taking place tomorrow as well. So you would want to know more about that. So other than that, the phone lines will be open. Of course, we have 3 landlines. We have a toll-free number provided courtesy of Flow. That toll-free number, 1-800-534-8255. Also 949-8037, 949-6990. Then we have a WhatsApp number, 925-3261. And, of course, the voice that you will hear this morning taking your calls is none other than Silver Fox, Mr. Paul Akal. He's in the control room this morning waiting to take your call. So first of all, let's look at the birthday greetings going out this morning. And we are being asked to send birthday greetings to Hannah Terry, also known as Gabby. And birthday greetings are coming from her mother, Gina, brother David, her grandmother, nieces, nephews, aunts, and uncles. We love you very much and wish you a wonderful day. Also, happy birthday greetings to Hannah coming from your friends at the Sunrise Adult Training Center. And special happy birthday to my aunt, Hannah Terry, from your niece, Nikki, and Miss Kathy in San Andres. So, Miss Hannah Terry, also known as Gabby. Lots of birthday greetings coming out to you this morning. Hope you have an enjoyable day. And so many people love you, and many of them have expressed their love for you right here on For the Record this morning, and I am sure that there will be more coming to you as well. So we want you to enjoy your very special day today as well. So we're also been asked to send happy birthday greetings to Dana Valley, Leroy Mitchell, Philip Wood, and those greetings coming from Aldine always with our love, always Aldine as well. So that's Dana Valley, Leroy Mitchell, and Philip Wood. I believe we have some more here as well. We see, Mr. Philip Wood is mentioned again here. Stefan Johnson celebrating his birthday today as well. I want to wish Stefan happy birthday. I remember the earlier days on For the Record when we would have the GIS camera right here in the studio recording. It wasn't carried live then. It was recorded and then played back on a government CIG-TV later on in the day or the following day as well. And Mr. Stefan Johnson was always here, along with Lenford Wilkes. Lenford Wilkes was also one of the camera persons here. Also, Selfida Watson, she's celebrating a birthday today. On Sunday, Miss Wanda Tibbetts Tatum will be celebrating her birthday Sunday, May 17th. Let's make sure we haven't missed any. Miss Donna Myra Stephen also celebrating her birthday today, the 15th of May. I want to make sure that I get all of them, that I don't miss anyone. And I believe we have a few belated birthdays as well. I believe on the 13th, Mr. Belika Samamba, he celebrated his birthday on May the 13th. Haven't heard from him in quite a while. But then, on For the Record, we really haven't had a whole lot of opportunities last few shows to open up the phone lines as well. So Billy celebrated his birthday on the 13th. That's 2 days ago. That would have been on Wednesday. Upcoming birthdays. Wade Tomasa, Mr. Wade Tomasa, he's celebrating his birthday tomorrow. I'm sure he'll be on the bike on Sunday if he's on island. Happy birthday to you, Wade Tomasa, when it comes tomorrow. Mr. Peter Larder, also celebrating his birthday on Sunday, the 17th of May. Peter Larder, a longtime resident of the Cayman Islands, worked for CIBC for quite a while, made many friends and acquaintances here in the Cayman Islands, no longer resides here, but also keeps in close contact with persons here. Miss Celine Mackin. Celine will be celebrating her birthday on Monday the 18th as well. So funny. Peter Larder, runner, cyclist. Celine Mackin, cyclist, runner as well. And celebrating birthdays one day apart. So we want to wish them a happy birthday when it comes. Peter Larder on the 17th, Celine Mackin on the 18th, Wade Tomasa tomorrow as well. If you know someone who's celebrating a birthday or any other momentous occasion, we invite you to send those details to us right here on For the Record, and we will give them a birthday shout out. And I want to repeat this one again because this is all persons are special, but this person is extremely special, and that is Hannah Terry. Hannah Terry, also known as Gabby, and birthday greetings coming from your mother, Gina, brother David, grandmother, nieces, nephews, aunts, uncles, and then we also have from her friends at the Sunrise Adult Training Center, and then we have special happy birthday coming from your niece Nikki and Miss Kathy in San Andres as well. Folks, we're extremely thankful for all of those birthday shout-outs, again brought to you by Coca-Cola and the Credit Union. Coca-Cola available across the Cayman Islands. You should accept no substitutes. From generation to generation, Coca-Cola is still a classic. And the Credit Union. The Credit Union looks forward to serving the people of the Cayman Islands for the next 50 years and beyond. Folks, when we're going to take a commercial break now, when we return, I want to share with you the preamble to our Constitution, Cayman Islands Constitution Order 2009, and share the preamble of the Constitution with you. We refer to those the various declarations in that preamble as being aspirational, that they're aspirational. Some of them are, but some of them are real as well. In particular, our Christian heritage and what that is all about. That is going to lead up to another discussion, one that could be controversial to a certain extent because it will pit our values, the values that we have, those that have been expressed and declared in our Constitution, being aspirational or being real as well against individual rights or the rights of groups, some groups within the Cayman Islands as well. It will have to do with entertainment. It will have to do with a particular entertainment and the concerns that are being voiced around allowing that entertainer to perform in the Cayman Islands with what appears to be, if not the tacit, then the outright approval of the government of the Cayman Islands. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite band-aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. Don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
Yeah, let me tell you, no AC when I was a boy. I still remember just how good an ice-cold Coca-Cola was.
The part is, the coolest moms and dads always had Coca-Cola or parties.
The sound when you pop the top, and the fizzle, and that, after that first sip.
Coca-Cola, from generation to generation, that ice-cold bubbly. Coca-Cola, still a Cayman classic.
She hear clunk and her car stop. I was just about to send her some money, so I send it straight to her JN money transfer card. It cost me less, and perhaps she use the card, pay the garage right away. She'll get discount through the JN Rewards program in Jamaica. This card make things easy. You can even get funds at any multi-link ATM.
JN Money Transfer Card. Fast, affordable, convenient. Tell your loved ones in Jamaica about it. Sign up is free.
Babe, not tonight. You keep poking me and I need to be rested for meetings tomorrow.
What? I was almost asleep. That's the mattress spring I keep telling you about, not me. We really need to get a new mattress.
Tossing and turning, back hurting, can't sleep? It might be time to turn in your old mattress and go to bed with a new one. Browse the huge mattress showroom at Brand Source Home Gallery and pick the perfect mattress today. With mattresses to suit every budget, Brand Source Home Gallery stocks a wide selection of sizes and styles like pillow top and gel memory foam. So stop tossing and turning and sleep better tonight with a new mattress from Brand Source Home Gallery, Dawson Drive, Industrial Park.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
This is For the Record.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. Before we go to the preamble to our Constitution, we have a few more birthday greetings that I have been asked to give shout-outs. We see Mr. Ray Hides and his wife, KK. They are sending happy birthday greetings to their grandson, Jace. He will be 3 years of age on the 17th of this month. That would be on Sunday. Jace will be 3 years of age. Happy birthday greetings coming from his grandfather and grandmother, Mr. Ray Hides and Miss KK. Also, we have been asked again, and these names were one name was mentioned earlier, Miss Donna Myrie Stephen. Happy birthday greetings going out to you from Miss Marva. She's also sending happy birthday greetings to Miss Patsy Cottrell at Cayman Airways. Happy birthday greetings going out to Miss Patsy Cottrell, also coming from Miss Marva. And I will say so again, because we have no guests. We'll have no guests in the studio. Phone lines will be open. And I will keep the birthday shout-outs going as long as you keep them coming to me. If you know someone who's celebrating a birthday or any other special occasion, share that information with us. Or if you just want to say hello and, give a big shout-out to cheer someone up this morning, please feel free to do so, as well. We're all about happiness here, at Radio Cayman. All one huge Caymanian family, as well. We may have brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, uncles, aunts, nieces, nephews, first cousins, second cousins, third cousins, all one big Caymanian family. And let's act like a well-functioning family today and always in the Cayman Islands. So now, folks, let's look at our Constitution and the preamble. So, the Constitution of the Cayman Islands. The people of the Cayman Islands, recalling the events that have shaped their history and made them what they are, and acknowledging their distinct history, culture, Christian heritage, and its enduring influence and contribution in shaping the spiritual, moral, and social values that have guided their development and brought peace, prosperity, and stability to those islands, it says here, through the vision, forbearance, and leadership of their people who are loyal to, at that time it was Her Majesty the Queen, now it would be His Majesty the King. So we affirm our intention to be a God-fearing country based on traditional Christian values, tolerant of other religions, and belief. I'm going to repeat that. A God-fearing country based on traditional Christian values, tolerant of other religions and beliefs. A country with open, responsible, and accountable government that includes a working partnership with the private sector and continuing beneficial ties with the United Kingdom. A country in which religion finds its expression in moral living and social justice. A caring community based on mutual respect for all individuals and their basic human rights. A country committed to the democratic values of human dignity, equality, and freedom. A community that practices honest and open dialogue to ensure mutual understanding and social harmony. And that's what we're going to do this morning as well, folks, that we want to engage in honest and open dialogue, and that would be to ensure mutual understanding and social harmony. I'm going to pause there for a second simply to say that there will be those who will have one position or the other, either in support of this particular entertainer being allowed to be in the Cayman Islands and entertain, and those who would object to it as well. And it is important to hear all sides, of the story. So we continue with the preamble to our Constitution. A safe, secure, and law-abiding community as well. So we want to make it safe, we want to make it secure as well. And there are things that can certainly make it unsafe and insecure also. My words there, folks. A country that is free from crime and drug abuse. That is aspirational. It's sort of utopian. Whether or not it will be completely free, but we can say as free as possible. A country with an education system that identifies and develops on a continuing basis the abilities of each person, allowing them to reach their full potential and productivity. Some may criticize the changes that we have made to our educational system. Some may like them as well. Also, a community that encourages and prepares young people to assume leadership roles. A country that provides a comprehensive healthcare system. A community protective of traditional Caymanian heritage and the family unit. The discussion this morning will touch on that as well. Our heritage and the family unit. For instance, I did mention, I believe it was on Wednesday, talk about the date in 1966, I believe it was, 13th of May. Headlines in the Trade Winds newspaper, no standing room for Byron Lee and the Dragonaires. And I believe it was taking place at the Princess Royal Park. Entertainment, clean entertainment in the Cayman Islands at that point in time. And again, we say that we want to be a community protective of traditional Caymanian heritage and the family unit. A country that honors the sacrifices of its seafaring men who left the shores of the islands to enhance the quality of life of their people, and in doing so established themselves amongst the finest within the global maritime community of that time, and through their remittances, endeavors, and experiences built the foundation of the Cayman Islands' modern economy. A country that honors and acknowledges the important contributions of the Caymanian women who, during the absence of the seafaring men of the islands, manage the affairs of their homes, businesses, and communities, and passed on values and traditions to the islands. So a country that honors and acknowledges the important contribution of Caymanian women. This particular entertainer, what was shared with me this morning in relation to it, certainly, and this particular performance or song certainly does not honor women. It objectifies them. Is that what we want here in the Cayman Islands? Question, rhetorical question, one that you can help to answer as well. A country with a vibrant, diversified economy which provides full employment, a country that makes optimal use of modern technology, a country that manages growth and maintains prosperity while protecting the social and natural environment, a country that respects, protects, and defends its environment and natural resources as the basis of its existence, a country that fosters the highest standard of integrity in dealings of the private and the public sectors, a country with an immigration system that protects Caymanian, gives security to long-term residents and welcomes legitimate visitors and workers, and a country that plays its full part in the region and in the international community. So those are that is the preamble to our Constitution. Many of the provisions, some of the provisions are aspirational. Some of those provisions recognize the values that we had, the values that we still have, the values that we want to have and to maintain. And folks, there are challenges coming from many directions to those values that we have established in the Cayman Islands. One of those challenges has to do with the quality of the entertainment, music entertainment that we allow here in the Cayman Islands. That is one of those. We have to balance that against those persons who would have the right to listen and to choose what and whom they want to listen to. But at the same time, it is the responsibility of the government, through the interpretation of our Constitution, through the interpretation of our laws, to ensure that those aspirational values, as well as the real ones that we have, that they are upheld as well. With that, folks, we're going to go to our 8 o'clock news. When we return, we will continue with this discussion. The phone lines remain open. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back immediately after the 8 o'clock news.
The voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Silver wings shining in the sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. In a major step towards strengthening national sports infrastructure, the Ministry of Sports has announced plans to renovate and modernize the Truman Bodden Sports Complex. This means the center will be closed for an estimated 6 months, starting in July. And the ministry says efforts will be made to, quote, minimize disruption to sporting programs, schools, sporting associations, and facility users during the renovation period. The project will include upgrades to the facility's playing field, running track, jump areas, and grandstand infrastructure, with a goal of transforming the complex into a, quote, modern, resilient, and internationally competitive sporting venue capable of serving elite athletes, schools, sporting associations, and hosting regional and international competitions.
This season in Grand Cayman was wetter than average.
Climatologically, the dry season is characterized by reduced rainfall totals, with most precipitation associated with the passage of cold fronts, which can also lead to cooler temperatures. National Weather Service forecaster Carrie Forbes tells Radio Cayman December through April shows that seasonal rainfall exceeded both climatological average and the previous dry season total of 6.2 inches. There were 4.5 inches worth of rain associated with cold fronts during the season, accounting for about 40% of the seasonal rainfall, and January was the wettest month of the year. Switching to temps.
This season in Grand Cayman was slightly cooler than average, marking it one of the coolest dry seasons observed in more than a decade.
Ms. Forbes says while January recorded the highest number of cold front passages, by February, colder air masses over the U.S. resulted in, quote, more pronounced cooling. February recorded 2.5 degrees below its average minimum temperature, with temperatures dropping as low as 65.5 degrees, one of the coolest average temperatures in nearly 40 years. And in other news,
we know that when rehabilitation is more accessible, families become stronger, barriers are reduced, and communities become safer and more resilient.
The Home Affairs Minister says Cabinet has removed a $25 application fee for expungement applications and declarations of expungement.
A small but meaningful reform that reflects a people-first approach to rehabilitation, reintegration, and second chances.
Expungement is the legal process of sealing or destroying criminal records, allowing an individual to state they have no convictions. The Honorable Nicholas DaCosta says this move, quote, represents another step toward a more accessible, compassionate, and people-focused system.
What may seem like a small administrative cost to some can be a real barrier to others. If someone has taken the necessary steps to rebuild their life and qualifies under the law, a fee should not stand in the way of progress, opportunity, or a fresh start. This is about fairness and dignity.
For more information, head to gov.ky/MDAHA. Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which takes us out of the newscast. I'm Karsley Fuller.
BBC News with Moira Alderson. American media say Washington is taking steps to indict Raul Castro, the 94-year-old former Cuban president and brother of the revolutionary leader Fidel Castro. The charges are said to relate to Cuba shooting down an aircraft operated by a humanitarian group 30 years ago. The reports emerged as the head of the CIA met Cuban officials in Havana. President Trump has left China after closely watched talks with Xi Jinping, which were intended to improve relations between the two superpowers. Mr. Trump said they had made some fantastic trade deals, though he didn't give any details. Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi has said current diplomatic attempts to end the conflict with the United States are suffering from a lack of trust. Speaking in India, Mr. Araghchi said contradictory messages had raised questions about the Americans' real intentions in the talks. India's state-run fuel retailers have raised prices for the first time in 4 years as global cost of oil surges driven by the Iran war. The move will push up the cost of everyday goods for hundreds of millions of people. The Palestinian National Authority says a 15-year-old boy has been killed by Israeli soldiers in the occupied West Bank. The Israeli army said Fahed Zedan Oais was throwing stones at Israeli vehicles. The military in the Maldives is continuing the search for a group of Italian tourists who went missing during a scuba dive in Vavu Atoll. One body was recovered at a depth of 60 metres. That's the latest. BBC News.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way. Positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
For the Health of It, heard on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. and repeated on Saturdays at 9:30 a.m. Brought to you by UHealth International, University of Miami Health System. International patients go to UHealth International for consultations with renowned physicians, advanced treatment technologies, leading-edge medical therapies, and state-of-the-art surgical procedures. Whatever your particular reason for going to UHealth International, you will receive customized medical care delivered within a compassionate, multicultural setting. The care you need when you need it.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by
CG Britcade, where people come first. Good morning, Cayman. Let's take a look at your latest weather update brought to you by our friends at CG Brit K. Present temperature now 83 degrees Fahrenheit, but with the sun out there, it already feels like about 91 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds are out of the northeast at 5 miles per hour. Relative humidity 75%. The barometric pressure now at 29.97 inches and falling. Synopsis for today: light winds and slight seas will continue and gradually increase today as the pressure gradient slowly tightens with the strengthening of a high pressure system on the United States East Coast. A few localized afternoon showers could occur due to low level convergence and daytime heating. Radar imagery shows a few isolated patches of cloud and showers to the southwest of Cayman area. Our forecast calls for fair to partly cloudy skies today with a 20% chance of showers. Temperatures will rise to the upper 80s with a heat index near 98 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds will be easterly at 5 to 10 knots. Seas will be slight with wave heights of 1 to 3 feet. Looking at later on tonight, mostly fair skies, 20% chances of overnight showers. Temperatures will fall to the upper 70s. Winds will be easterly at 5 to 10 knots. Seas will be slight to moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. We're now in a high tide. Low tide will be at 2:22 this afternoon. It'll be high at 9:14 tonight, and it'll be low at 3:15 a.m. tomorrow morning. The outlook is for moderate winds and seas as the high pressure system persists along the east coast of the southern United States. A mild concentration of dust may be present in the western Caribbean, which may bring some hazy conditions. That, my friends, is your 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by our good friends at CG Brit K.
I was undercover and had just recovered the stolen artwork, but...
Aunt Angie, what does this have to do with managing my insurance?
Well, long story long. I found the art thief in France, but ended up becoming somewhat of a local celebrity. So I had to stick around for a while. But I was able to handle all my insurance needs with CG's online portal.
The online portal. Safe, convenient, simple. CG Brit K. Good like that.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by
CG Brit K, where people come first. Beach and Reggae Sundays on Breeze 105.3 FM from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Brought to you by Healthcare Pharmacy, where they care about your health. 2 locations, Governor Square and Grand Harbor. Governor Square open Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Grand Harbor open Monday to Saturday, 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. and open on Sundays, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Call 947-8900 or visit healthcarepharmacy.ky.
Hello, this is Melanie Sims. 50 years of Radio Cayman, what a legacy. I still remember walking through those doors to work at just 16 years old, learning the rhythm of radio and being surrounded by voices who would go on to become legends. Heartfelt thanks to Mr. Loxy Banks for believing in me and giving me my very first start. Radio Cayman, you were more than a station. You were a beginning, and for that, I will always be grateful. Happy 50th anniversary.
Looking to reach Cayman when it matters most? Advertise on Talk Today on Radio Cayman, where the conversation drives action and your brand gets heard. Connect with an engaged, loyal audience daily. Book your spot now. Email rcsales@gov.ky. Radio Cayman, your voice amplified.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
All right, let's take a look at the movements of traffic. Still got a little bit of traffic along Crew Road just off of Hosey's gas station. Some going through Agnes Way. And of course on the Bobby Thompson roundabout heading down to Smith Road Junction. Expect the usual traffic there. With slow moving traffic, of course, onto the Huldah Avenue and to the CNB roundabout. Once getting past there, things starts to pick up much better as you head towards the Butterfield roundabout. Expect the usual small traffic in that area as you get to the roundabout. And of course, North Sound Road heading east to Dorsey Drive. Things seem fair to find. Movement along the escalator bits. Some traffic in some areas getting up to the Commander Bay area around that roundabout. Expect usual traffic there. And of course, the second roundabout just after passing Foster's.
But of course, movement along the Escalate bit seems fair to find. And of course, in West Bay, traffic's moving quite fine to the four-way stop. And of course, heading down West Bay Road, look out for pedestrian movement there as well. Onto Orchard Street and Seafarers Way into the Georgetown area as traffic commutes through the streets of Georgetown. Eastern Avenue looking fair to find. Godfrey Dixon Way, Shannon Road as well. Linford Pearson seeing, of course, some traffic, like you say, onto the Bobby Thompson Way, and of course going through South Sound along Walker's Road through South Church Street as well. Expect the usual traffic flow. Some traffic going through the Windsor Park seems fair to find. Traffic going through the Industrial Park similar. Heading to the Eastern Districts, not much traffic to deal with. Be sure you buckle up and stay safe. Cayman Brack, Little Cayman, light traffic this time of the morning. Be careful out there. Look out for pedestrians, those on e-scooters, e-bikes, motorbikes, bicycles. And enjoy the long weekend when it comes. That's your traffic report brought to you by good friends at Subway.
Start your year off right with Subway's Fresh Fit menu. 4 protein-packed subs with 20 grams or more protein, under 500 calories, and loaded with full servings of crisp veggies on hearty multi-grain bread. Try the grilled chicken and avocado, the ham and turkey stacker, the seasoned steak and avocado, or the turkey and ranch delight. Big flavor, plenty of protein, and fresh veggies in every bite. Fuel your day the Fresh Fit way. Only at Subway. Subway. Eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
Craving something bold, juicy, and packed with flavor? Introducing KFC's new crispy barbecue sandwich served on a soft, buttery brioche bun. That's 100% KFC premium chicken breast, perfectly crispy, deliciously smoky with crispy onions, cheddar cheese, and barbecue sauce. Just the right amount of messy in the best way possible. Stacked with layers of bold KFC flavor, this sandwich is your new obsession. But hurry, it's only at KFC for a limited time. So what are you waiting for? Get yours today at any of the 3 KFC locations on island. KFC, finger licking good, just got bolder.
Sports. Stay up to date on your sports news with Radio K-Man Monday through Friday at 7 a.m., 6 p.m., and 10 p.m. It's all about sports.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. No guest in the studio. Miss Lucille Seymour has asked us to send birthday greetings to her brother, Mr. Coolidge Seymour. He will be celebrating his birthday on Sunday, the 17th of May. Mr. Coolidge Seymour, happy birthday greetings coming from your sister, Miss Lucille Seymour, as well. And those of you in Georgetown would know Mr. Coolidge Seymour, another icon, Georgetown icon here in the Cayman Islands as well. A very popular person, very friendly, as well. And we wish him a happy birthday. Also, we do have a caller, one more birthday shout out before we go to the caller. Mr. Alan E. Banks over there in East End will be 74 years old. Don't have the date here. Greetings are coming from his friends Steve and Tara Dodds from Indiana and East End. They say that most will agree that Alan is the hardest working man known in East End. We admire him. So happy birthday. Greetings going out to Mr. Alan Ebanks as well. Let's go to our phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. Connor. How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm fine. How are you?
Not doing too bad, giving thanks.
Great.
I just thought I would take this opportunity since you had open mic and, had no guests.
Sure.
To just kind of continue the conversation in regards to the energy and the fuel and whatnot, because it's a big token item that we have to face every summer when rates obviously go up because of the heat and more activity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. More than happy to.
There's a lot of conversation on how we can address these issues, how we can, cost savings things, and I give all the credit in the world to any government who make, decisions to try to alleviate some of these things. One what I would like to talk about is, alternatives, things that we can actually do right away, low hanging fruit, for lack of a better term. So, I've done a lot of research in the fuel and gas and the energy business for a very long time, and and what I've found over that course of research is that a lot of implementations that are done in countries are simply done because of laws in which certain countries pass in order to obligate any provider in dealing with the energy in a certain way. And certainly in the absence of having any regulation or any laws that say otherwise, then companies tend to do what's in the best interest of the company, right? So, and this is not pointing the fingers at by any means. And in fact, this is actually laying the concerns at the feet of our government and our legislators. And as to we heard all of the stories about the utility company moving towards trying to use LNG gas, right? Now, here is the thing, right? With LNG gas, it is a lot cleaner, it's a lot cheaper. Those are the facts. However, in order to have the volume of LNG we would need in order to replace it for diesel, you have to have a port to import LNG. Your tanks and your storage facility has to be cooling. It's a very tedious process. Now, I'm not saying that we shouldn't take that route. I'm just simply saying that there are easier ways to accomplish the same goal that don't require all those things, such as propane, right? Liquid propane gas, liquid gas. So now, and the reason why I say that is because the adapters to put on the diesel generators to convert them to propane, they've been long available. They're there. And then, of course, we have the situation where we have two propane providers on island already. So nothing wrong with having conversations with them and providing the necessary need for propane. And that would reduce the cost of energy across the board, and it would burn a lot cleaner. So we would actually be tackling two of our target issues, which is environment and reducing the cost of fuel. Now, I don't know for the life of me or anybody else, why are we not talking about that as opposed to, and don't get me wrong, like I said, I'm not trying to pull the rug from under the government feet for trying to help in these times of need. We're talking about $9 million, injection into the energy sector in order to alleviate some of the bills for the local people, and I don't have an issue. I just think that it's not a permanent fix. It's just a knee-jerk reaction, and we need to start putting long-term solutions in place so that we can annually benefit from these things, and and these are things that could take place because on the reality of things is that how hard would it be for the stakeholders, which would be off-reg, the government, and the utility provider, to sit around a table? Like right now, it's 100% pass-through cost for fuel to the consumer, but yet the consumer have no say in where this fuel come from, right? We just get a calculation on our bill and what our fuel consumption was, and we pay our bill to keep our lights on.
Yep.
So I think that it's high time that the government take the bull by the horn, take the negotiations in control, and say, look, if you guys do not implement the things that are going to create real cost savings over a sustainable period of time, we're going to have to pass some legislation in order for it to be so. Then that way, if you're not complying with the laws that we put in place, then you'll be in breach. So therefore, we can eliminate any risk of any liability of breach of contract. So, I just think that's the conversation we need to have, Mr. Connor, when it comes to tackling the energy costs, because every year what we're going to do, we're going to inject $9 million and pull the duties. The only money that we get back from the fuel industry is the 75 cents per gallon that we collect.
Yeah.
And, where is that money appropriated on an annual physical base when we're doing government appropriations for a year-end budget? That money pays for something, Mr. Connor.
And some may say that we're applying a Band-Aid to a wound that really needs stitches rather than the Band-Aid.
We're hemorrhaging. This is not a bruise. This is an open wound that is bleeding, and we need immediate priority attention to these things. And again, I know that the stakeholders and all of the people that are sitting in a position of power is saying, oh, well, this person just like to talk to hear themselves talk. But you know what? I challenge anyone from either sector, from the energy sector, the energy provider, the government. I challenge them to go and find any information that is incorrect on what I've said this morning. Propane is the most feasible way to move forward. And the simple reason for that is Mr. Connor, we do not have an LNG facility in the Cayman Islands. It's going to cost in the tunes of hundreds of millions of dollars to put that in place.
Mm-hmm.
And you know who's going to foot that bill? Same consumer that we're trying to protect.
Mm-hmm. Now, for the benefit of our listening audience, can you describe the distinction, the difference between liquefied natural gas and propane?
Absolutely. So, the LNG, which is liquefied natural gas, it requires a cooling system, or the fuel will evaporate, it will disappear. So you would lose a lot of fuel if it don't have the proper storage facility, right?
Mm-hmm.
And also you have to have a port. In other words, then Jackson Point pipeline is not going to be sufficient to pipe LNG gas from the discharge and ship to the compound and where CUC would need it.
Got you.
Right? Now, the difference in propane is that propane can come in ISOs, and propane don't require any cooling system, and propane has its high potency until it's used. So propane and LNG is on par with when it comes to cost, meaning that it almost costs exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
And one requires a whole lot less infrastructure and money to provide storage facilities for it. And the fact that we have two local providers of propane already. So we're already ahead of the ball. So this is not rocket. And Mr. Connor, I'm an average citizen in the streets. I don't work for the utility company. I don't work for Orrett. I don't work for the government. They have access to all the information and more than what I have. So then why are we not having a reasonable conversation? So that's what I wanted to kind of articulate today, that we ran out of time.
Yes.
And I know how radio time works. Sometimes you got to pick up full hard stop.
Now, another question that I have for you: the fact that CUC is a publicly traded company, which means that it has obligations to its shareholders, and we're only talking about CUC now, but there could be other possible players into the game as well. Does that have any bearing on their ability to what they're able to offer to the Cayman Islands in terms of, we're here in the Cayman Islands, we recognize we're part of the Cayman Islands, as opposed to, listen, my shareholders are concerned about the bottom line?
Well, all right, I'll share this with you, because this again is a part of some of the research that I've done. CUC is majority owned by Fortis, right, which is a Canadian company, and it is a publicly traded company, which doesn't stop us from using our pension money and buying out Fortis. But again, that's another discussion for another day. But if you look at all of the other jurisdictions in which Fortis own and operate utility companies, you will find that those countries have very, very meticulous regulations and laws that require them to operate in a certain behavior. However, in the Cayman Islands, it's far different, because we don't have those requirements and those laws in place that protects equally the consumer along with the service provider. Because obviously, Mr. Connor, we're not trying to implement something that a company that is providing an essential service to our island is going to be losing money, right? Or they're going to come up at the losing end, because no business model is going to show you where we want to make less profit annually. So I take all that into consideration. However, this is not something out of the norm for them. If you go to Turks and Caicos, where they have a plant, go and look at their binding agreement and contract with Turks and Caicos, and you'll find that the things that they got to do in Turks and Caicos are far more than the things that they're doing here, because they don't have to. They're not obligated by any regulation or any laws. So we need to put a very microscopic sort of contract together so that we ensure that the Cayman Islands consumer is getting the best value for money. Now, don't get me wrong now. I will say this about CUC. They're one of the most efficient service providers on this island. You know, you get an outage, which is expected because nothing is perfect.
Mhm.
These guys are on the job. They do a tremendous job on providing some of the best energy in the region. However, we must also bear in mind that we pay top dollar for that service.
Yes.
So we wouldn't expect anything less. So, you know, I mean, we don't want to be enemies with our utility provider. We want to be partners, and we want to make sure that everybody is happy, including the person that's providing that service. So how do we get to that point? We sit down and we say, look, these are the things that the country is expecting out of a provider, and if you don't want to do them willingly, then we'll have to implement laws in order to ensure that the consumer is being treated as fairly as possible, considering the fact that there's 100% pass-through cost of all of your petroleum products to the consumer. So, I don't know. I just think that, you know, if we had good laws and better people negotiating at the table, we would be in a lot better. And you know, and don't get me wrong, Mr. Connor, we are not going to see, and this whole 2037 initiative about going green, going electric and all, you cannot get sure energy from electric. I'm telling you, it can't happen. So somewhere in the back bushes of this whole grand scheme of energy, we're going to have a fuel burning generator that's going to be the core energy in which we can rely on. So why are we not implementing long, solidified, sustainable solutions now, as opposed to waiting for it to become some sort of reaction to something that we didn't take care of? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
one more question before we go. What we still don't hear a whole lot about is the fact that CUC's the agreement that they had with the government had expired. And you know, why is that still being kept so quiet? And how long do we then have to wait before we're able to renegotiate, unless CUC decides that, you know, they want to voluntarily do it? Well, or are they comfortable with what they have now that should have been renegotiated that still continues to be in place?
Well, you know, I'm going to be very careful how I say this, because, you know, I don't want to be laying the blame at anybody's feet.
Yep.
But what I will say is this, Mr. Connor, is that we have a regulatory body called Orrett that is there to police our utility industry, for lack of a better term, right? They may want to call it something else, but they're there to ensure that fair distribution of utilities is provided to the public. Now, don't you think that it's in the public's interest, who have to foot the bill for all of the fuel and most of the infrastructure in which a utility company provides, that we make sure that any expiration of any contract or anything of the sort is something that is high prioritized, to make sure that we don't drop the ball simply because if the system that is currently taking place isn't necessarily operating in the best interest of the people, then we should be sitting down watching the date and the time
Yes.
for the clock to ring, so we can get to a position so we can renegotiate that position.
Yeah, have it set like your alarm clock. The alarm goes off.
I would lose sleep in case I missed the date. Say, wait a minute now. Today is the day that we renegotiate this evergreen contract in your favor. We need to make sure that we coming out on the balancing end of this thing, so that we all can be happy moving forward. Now, you tell me, how is it that this department that consists of a board and members and people who work and have special jobs, how was the ball dropped so far down that tunnel that we don't even know if we got a ball in it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know, my pet peeve have always been, why is it that a sovereign first world country like Cayman Islands do not own its distribution grid?
Well, I question one thing about that. We're not sovereign. We're not sovereign.
Well,
overseas territory still far away from having any sovereignty.
Well, I hear the government saying now they're going to create a sovereign wealth fund, which is something that I wrote about for years. And, well, you know what? I'm just glad that they're doing it. I don't care why they're doing it. I'm glad we're looking at it. And these are the small things, Mr. Connor, that I believe we can do to improve the quality of life in the Cayman Islands.
Sure.
And across the board. And I don't know why it's not high priority. I don't know why. You know, because I don't need a turkey or a washer and a dryer come election time, you know. I don't need that. I need good legislation and laws and regulations that's going to govern and take care of these islands way into the future, not now, because I'm not going to be here forever.
Yeah.
I pray to God I get grandchildren because, that's what I'm looking forward to now.
Yeah.
You know?
And when you do get them, you're gonna enjoy them. You're gonna enjoy them.
Of course,
I tell you that.
The best days of my life is when I used to drop and pick my children up from school every day so I can hear what went on. I miss that interaction.
Yep.
Now, I still have close relationships with my children. I drop them to and from work sometimes, and I'd still do the part, but boy, not like when they were young.
Yep, so true.
I wish, so whenever I get some grandchildren, it'll like be hitting the reset button. I'm back again, young again.
Okay, Mr. Rankin, thank you.
I appreciate the time.
Certainly, thank you very much as well,
Yeah.
folks. We're going to take a commercial break. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Did you know that you can send money transfers to financial institutions anywhere in Jamaica with JN Money?
You mean I can send money straight to my account and cut out the middleman?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. You send your own money to your own account, giving you peace of mind that the money is in your account.
JN Money Transfers to Financial Institution is another convenient service offered by JN Money. You can have this done from any JN Money location. Deposit your money straight to your account without the hassle of asking someone to do it for you. JN Money Transfers to Financial Institutions, making life easier.
This year, we're taking the Fet for a Cause one step further. Welcome to One Fet. Get ready for an unforgettable night featuring some of the top DJs on island, bringing you the ultimate vibe. From start to finish is pure vibes, good energy, and non-stop music. And the best part, 100% of the proceeds go towards supporting the Cayman Islands Cancer Society and autism acceptance. So this year, you're not just partying, you're partying with a purpose. It all kicks off Friday, May 22nd, 8 p.m. at Sandbar. Don't miss your chance to be a part of something bigger. Get your tickets now at the box office.ky and get ready to take over the streets on Saturday, May 23rd with the Fet for a Cause family. One Fet, one vibe, one cause, one unforgettable experience. One Fet sponsors AI Rentals, CarQuest, Ace, Parker's, Coca-Cola, Tortuga, Stingray Media, Sandbar, Mike's Ice, Radio Cayman, Valvoline, and DNB Audio Technic.
Cineco's parametric insurance after hurricanes is now available for motor policies. Fixed automatic payouts cover incidental vehicle expenses like fuel, cleanup, and minor repairs. No claims, no damage required. $200 for comprehensive policies or $100 for third-party policies. Available exclusively through Cineco and included with all new motor insurance policies and upon renewal for current policies. Visit Cineco.ky today. Cineco. Keeping Cayman covered.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite band-aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. But don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
The 25th Annual Talent Exposition of the Arts, Hope is here. Presented by the New Self-Help Foundation, Sunday, June 28th at the Hawkwheel Theatre. Awesome performances by Rico Rolando, Erica Asai, actress Caitlin Tyson, Dequan Smith, UCCI Dance Company, Radiance Dance Studio, Center Point Limited, John Gray Kitchen Band, and Starlight Elite Strings, Michelle T, and more. Tickets cost $15 CI prepaid or $20 at the gate, and available from the #1 shoe shop and Winner's Circle Sports. Talent Exposition of the Arts, Hope, hosted by Anika Jefferson and Lloyd Parker. June 28th at the Hawkwheel Theatre. Gates open at 5 p.m. Show starts at 6 p.m. Part proceeds from this event to benefit the Pines Retirement Home.
This is For the Record.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. Phone lines are open, no guests in the studio. We've been asked to send happy birthday greetings to Jessica coming from your co-workers at TCE Paint Shop. We wish you all the best up there in Florida. Also, I want to recognize my sister, Arlene Campbell. She will be celebrating her birthday on Monday, the 18th of May. So I want to wish her a happy birthday in advance as well. checking all of the WhatsApp messages. One of our listeners wrote and said, wonderful to hear the Constitution's prologue being read out on For the Record. It's also notable that in sections 1 and 2 and elsewhere, the words, and I quote, this part, close of quote, are used. That is always a reference to the whole Bill of Rights. That is very consequential for the constitutional expression of the traditional Christian values that the Cayman Islands espouse and aspire to as well. Another person wrote in and said, let me find their response here. Sorry about that. They are speaking in terms of Mr. Mario Ranking, that he is speaking the truth. And person has pointed out Turks and Caicos Fortis has left. It's now Pelican. Okay, so it's no longer Fortis in Turks and Caicos. It's Pelican. I want to thank that person for that as well. And before we go to the caller, let's check the last WhatsApp message that we received here. This one is pretty long, so I'll read it first and then so that we can take our caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
I'll see how you doing.
Hey, good morning. I'm fine. Hey, what's up?
Yeah. You know, had me first, but
yeah.
And after listening to him, I'm so happy that he got to call in, you know, before me, because Mario knows everything about the fuel industry and the distribution, the contracts, everything. I mean, he do his research. I'm just you know, stunned that they don't like off reek. You know, someone like that entity would not, you know, entertain hiring him, you know, and that entity. Because we spoke, he was the person I was speaking concerning, you remember the Constitution? I think I told you that I painted with a wide brush concerning a stupid conviction that disallow somebody to run for office. It's always him that I have in mind, because with his passion for the country and his expertise into various areas of the development of Cayman, I think he would be more appropriate to help in the Parliament making laws and being a lawmaker than most people that we have there now. You know,
he's quite knowledgeable. Does his research. That is extremely important to read, and not only read the things that you agree with, but read the other viewpoints as well.
Be able to articulate it, you know, to the public, which he do a fantastic job. He not guessing or calling in, asking questions. He knows exactly, you know, and I'm so happy that he was able to call. Well, he normally always called in, but that particular dialogue between you and him, and you asked some very, very important questions also. So the dialogue between you and him this morning, I think, was very, very appropriate.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I'm going to leave it right there, and I'll talk to you later.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but before you go, you know me, and you know, doing my research and everything else. Let's go back to remember we talk about entitlement, right? And the definition, you know, of entitlement. So in the Immigration Transition Legislation 2022 is the one that I'm reading from. By entitlement means in relation to the right to be Caymanian under Section 26, subsection 1D, means entitlement by a person by virtue only of the Caymanian being in the determination of the director of work, that person being the child of a Caymanian. So, when you talk about by entitlement, it means being the child of a Caymanian under the age of 18 years and legally and ordinarily resident in the Cayman Islands for a period of not less than 1 year. That is what we, the definition of by entitlement in our immigration legislation. Now, let's go back to Section 36, categories of permanent residence. And this comes into being in terms of what was said, what we talked about earlier in the relation to Mr. Canova Watson. And we still don't know what, other than Caymanian status, what he possesses, whether or not he's a British Overseas Territories citizen. He may now be a British citizen as well by virtue of that being a British Overseas Territories citizen if he is such. But I'm going to ask you to hold on there. We're going to go to a quick commercial break, and I want to continue on this conversation and have some clarification on this. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
There you go, sir. Thanks for choosing JN Money Transfer.
Boy, thanks to JN Money Transfer, I can stay right here in Cayman and pay mama bills back home in Jamaica. Her water, light, phone, and other bills never late. Every month I pay everything in one place.
Make payments to over 30 companies in Jamaica through JN Money Transfer. Fast, affordable, convenient. Call 1-800-744-1163 for details.
Can you imagine your home completely organized? At Brand Source Custom Closets, we can. We specialize in designing and building custom closets and storage units for any room in your home, including the garage. With tailored designs and custom LED lighting solutions to fit your lifestyle and budget. Our custom closets expert is committed to enhancing the value of your home with a solution that is uniquely yours. Visit our showroom or call 623-6774 to schedule a no-obligation appointment with our design expert. Brand Source Custom Closets, 209 Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Happy 15th anniversary to the #1 station in the land, Radio Cayman. It's Mr. Nachi Reggae Man, yeah.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We still have Lord Graham on the phone line as well, talking about being naturalized as a British Overseas Territories citizen, loss of Caymanian status. So Section 36, subsection 1(4) it reads, a person who is a British Overseas Territory citizen by virtue of a connection with the islands, by registration, by entitlement under the British Nationality Act 1981 or any act preceding, amending, or replacing that act, shall have the right to remain permanently in the islands. And then it talks about how that person ceases to have that right. Now, let's make a distinction here. We, in the section of our Immigration Act, the interpretation section, it has defined by entitlement what it means, right? Now, by entitlement under the British Nationality Act is completely different. It's not the same as by entitlement under the immigration law. So I have to still do some research to determine by what entitlement under the British Nationality Act means. Now, one of the things that we need to recognize, and I believe I do understand now, one of the provisions, it says here that a person ceases to be a British Overseas Territory citizen if that person has subsequent to the grant of the certificate been ordinarily resident outside the islands continuously for a period of 5 years, or acquires a domicile other than a domicile in the islands unless Cabinet rules otherwise. And this section had me a little bit confused. The Cabinet is satisfied that the grant of the certificate was obtained by fraud, false representation, or concealment of a material fact. Now that certificate, that is a certificate of naturalization or registration, right? But Cabinet does not issue that certificate. That is issued under the British Nationality Act, under which Cabinet has no jurisdiction whatsoever. So my interpretation of that is that if Cabinet is satisfied that that certificate has been issued under the British Nationality Act by the Governor's office, then they can, the person no longer has the right to reside in the Cayman Islands. So I get what that is. Now, one more thing, Lord Graham. The British Nationality Act, the provisions that they make in relation to whether and how a person can lose their British Overseas Territory citizenship. And what they, other thing to be clear there is that all of the provisions of the British Nationality Act, when it says British, it also means British Overseas Territory citizen, British Overseas citizens, and everything. So what applies to one applies to all. It is usually false representation, concealment of a fact, or in for the public good in terms of loss of BOTC, British Overseas Territory citizenship. Nothing to do with conviction, even though you may interpret, well, maybe if the person is convicted of for something that in the public good, they should not be allowed to remain in the Cayman Islands. We should also bear in mind there's a very important case in the UK, current case, but they got their precedent from other cases as well. And I hope I'm pronouncing this right. There's a young lady by the name of Shamima Begum who joined ISIS. She was a teenager when she decided to join ISIS in Syria. Mm-hmm. She's now, I think she's still in a refugee camp. She was born in the United Kingdom. The British government, and this went on appeal all the way up to the highest court in the United Kingdom, they revoked her citizenship, would not issue her a passport to be able to return to the UK, and it was challenged over and over. When you are revoking citizenship, right, one of the paramount issues and thing to be considered is you cannot make a person stateless, right? So, for instance, if the government decided that they were going to revoke your British Overseas Territories citizenship, and you had no other citizenship whatsoever, it would not be allowed because they can't allow you to remain stateless. In her particular case, I believe that she was either Bangladeshi or Pakistani descent, and she could obtain her citizenship by virtue of that. Stateless. So she's not stateless. So, but that is one of the compelling factors, is that you cannot leave a person stateless. Like I said, now in the case of Mr. Canova Watson, we know that he had Caymanian status because that was dealt with by the Immigration Appeals Tribunal and then the subsequent application for judicial review through that process. So we know he has status. I don't know what else he has, whether or not he's a British Overseas Territory citizen, whether or not he's a British citizen. And until we know that, we can only speak in the abstract in terms of, what obtains as far as the holding British Overseas Territory citizen. One more thing before I let you back in is that I believe that this is one of the things that this section 36, subsection 1, subsection 4 is something that we need to consider. We need to look at it to see if we really need to retain that, because what it may involve, unless registration by entitlement means that you have some familiar connection with the territory, like Cayman, like how by entitlement is defined about having a parent who is Caymanian and things of that nature. Unless it is restricted to that, we have to be extremely careful, because we don't want to put ourselves in a situation where we have undesirables in this country who have been convicted and who we may not want here any longer, and we have no way of removing them if we say that they have the right to reside permanently in the islands by operation of law. Lord Graham.
Okay. Well, see, that is my concern now. Entitlement. What's the definition now of entitlement?
Under the British Nationality Act, I gotta look for that.
Because, okay, if we remove his status, his Cayman status, but he's eligible for certain things to remain on island, he's entitled to remain on island because he have been here, for so long, or some what?
No, because if the person is a British Overseas Territory citizen by entitlement under the British Nationality Act, it's automatic. He has the right to reside permanently in the islands, despite the fact that there may be a loss of Caymanian status.
Yeah, but the loss of Cayman status would automatically make him lose his...
No, that is what I keep explaining to you all. Right? No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
That's what I'm saying.
The loss, the loss provisions...
wait. If he still retains the British Overseas Territorial citizenship, even though he lost his Cayman status,
exactly,
he's still entitled to remain on island.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yes. Yes.
So him losing his...
If he has it, we should say if he has it. We don't know what he has. I don't know if he's a British Overseas Territory citizen. We can assume that he may have it, but I don't know whether or not he is a British Overseas Territory citizen possessing a Cayman passport, or whether or not he may have even moved on further and became a British citizen by virtue of his British Overseas Territory citizenship.
So suppose then he have his British Overseas Territory citizen, right? So just say suppose he have that.
Okay, yeah.
And we take away his status, status. What's the disadvantage then of him losing his Cayman status? Can he not still remain on island with the British Overseas Territory citizenship And
yeah, if he falls under the provisions of Section 36(4), yeah.
Right. So there would be like almost no disadvantage of him losing his Cayman status.
Well, no, there are some disadvantages. For instance, he would not be able to have a trade and business license. He would have to have a Caymanian partner or apply for a local company's control license because he's no longer Caymanian. He can't work in the Cayman Islands without permission to work because he no longer possesses Caymanian status. Those are two that come to mind, immediately come to mind in terms of, how he would be restricted. So you could possibly, unless he has the financial wherewithal to continue to live in the Cayman Islands without having to work, then you have a situation where he would either have to apply to Cabinet to exempt him from the requirements of a work permit or apply for a work permit as a person who has the right to reside in the Cayman Islands. This is why makes this so convoluted and so complicated, and my reason why we need to remove subsection 4 of Section 36 from our immigration legislation. I don't know if other persons have any viewpoints on that, but before you go, Lord Graham, one of your fans, I'm going to read this to you. It says, Graham was tormenting me yesterday about how I never say anything about him, and he's jealous of Tommy and TCE. So I just sent him a shout out this morning. So, and they said that, bear with me 1 second here. Person wrote and said, I want to give a special shout out to the young fella named Lord Graham of Cayman Firepower from Darling. Tell him he's my number one fireworks person. That's coming from Miss P. So very quickly respond because we got to go to the headline news.
Yeah, well, I'm glad to hear that because I was kind of getting sick of this young man from TC Teen Shops. You never says anything about me. Everything is this young man from TC, and he's not that young anyhow. So I'm happy. I'm happy now.
Okay, folks. Top of the hour headline news. When we return, the phone lines will remain open. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Covering Little Cayman, Cayman Bride.
Cover me. Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
The RBC Young Leaders Program closing and award ceremony took place at the Hotel Indigo on Thursday, celebrating the, quote, creativity, innovation, and leadership demonstrated by Cayman's young people. Cayman International School took first place. In international news, U.S. President Donald Trump left Beijing after a two-day summit, saying he had struck, quote, fantastic trade deals, great for both countries. But few details have emerged on what the two superpowers agreed. Trump arrived for a high-stakes summit with the Chinese leader Xi Jinping on Wednesday, accompanied by several CEOs, a high-profile business delegation spanning agriculture, aviation, electric vehicles, and artificial intelligence chips. Trade was near top of the agenda despite recent tensions over the Iran war, and businesses hoped for key deals as well as an extension of the tariff truce that's due to expire in November. And Africa's top health agency has declared an Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo's eastern Ituri province. Around 246 cases and 65 deaths have been reported, mainly in the gold mining towns of Mongwalu and Rampara. The Africa Centers for Disease Control and Prevention said today that it was convening a meeting with DR Congo, neighboring Uganda and South Sudan, and other international partners to discuss priorities, including response efforts and cross-border surveillance. Those are your headlines. I'm Karsley Fuller.
More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
Your Cayman Islands Health Services Authority has been the national healthcare provider of the Cayman Islands for many generations. We have elevated our level of care to ensure you, our patients, have the best possible experience. We offer better access to care close to home with the most locations on all 3 islands, delivering a full range of primary, secondary, tertiary, and emergency care. HSA is a JCI accredited organization, and we are committed to caring for you.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. The phone lines are open. If you want to call from a flow number, we have toll-free service for you. That toll-free number, 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us on 949-8037, 949-6990. WhatsApp, 925-3261. So, folks, I have a definition here of entitlement under the British Nationality Act. I will say to you that I have relied on artificial intelligence for this, and we know that has not been perfected yet. So hopefully they have pulled this exactly from the British Nationality Act and provided a summation of it. So it says that under the British Nationality Act, 1981, an entitlement means that the Home Office must register you as a British citizen if you meet all strict legal requirements, leaving no room for discretionary refusal. So if you meet all of the strict legal requirements, those civil servants, those technocrats, they have no room for discretionary refusal. They can't use their discretion to refuse you. They have to abide by the law if you meet all of the legal requirements. So it goes on to say that this is different from discretionary registration, which the Home Secretary can grant or refuse as they see fit. Then it goes on to talk about the common statutory entitlements that include, number 1, registration as a minor. So children born outside the UK have an entitlement to register within 12 months of birth if a parent holds a specific category of British nationality and meets residency requirements. Now remember that when they talk about nationality, it includes British Overseas Territory citizen, British citizen, British overseas citizenship, and others as well. Then it talks about historical unfairness. It says that adults and minors can claim an entitlement to register if historical legislative loopholes, for example, descent passed only through fathers, because there was one time when you could only obtain your British citizenship through a father, those are my words, prevented their lawful acquisition of citizenship. I'll read that one again. In the case of historical unfairness, Adults and minors can claim an entitlement to register if historical legislative loopholes, for example, descent passed only through fathers, prevented their lawful acquisition of citizenship. Renunciation. Individuals who previously gave up their citizenship to retain another nationality are entitled to resume it on one occasion. So there were times when you were only allowed, dual nationality was not recognized, and in order for you to gain one citizenship, you had to give up the other, something that some people in the Cayman Islands have argued that if you want to get Caymanian status, then you should have to give up your other citizenship that you have. One of the faults with that is that Caymanian status is not a citizenship. It's not a citizenship, right? It is I can't use the same word status to describe status, but it is a position as opposed to a nationality, right? Also, adoption. A child adopted under a UK court order by a British citizen is legally entitled to citizenship. And then it says that you can check if you qualify for an entitlement route and apply online through the official government website. So we don't know whether or not individuals have acquired their British Overseas Territory citizenship in connection with the Cayman Islands through entitlement or otherwise, by a discretionary act of the Secretary of State in the United Kingdom. We do know, again, for example, when in 2002, when the offer of British citizenship was made to all of the overseas territories, citizens of the overseas territories, that if at that time that legislation came into effect on or before that date, you were a British Overseas Territory citizen, then you qualified you were deemed to be a British citizen. That was a little confusing at first because people say, well, how in the world do I obtain it? And when it comes to the UK and when it comes to legislation, that is why we have all of this confusion now, when there was a time when you could only obtain your citizenship by virtue of your father. So it was a paternal society, and then that changed eventually in 1984. That is why we have all of these, convoluted situations, so we know that what the Brits said to us, that if you apply for a British passport, then you are invoking or you are, you are initiating your British citizenship. So once you applied for a British passport. So for example, if you were traveling to the UK after 2022 and you were traveling on a British Overseas Territories passport saying the Cayman Islands, there were persons who believed that they could then, at the ports of entry in the UK, that they could go to the British line. And that was not the case, because looking with you holding a British Overseas Territories passport, that wasn't enough for the officer to determine whether or not you automatically ended up with a British citizenship or not. So you had to have that British passport in order to go through that line. So the Brits said basically, you're initiating your British citizenship by applying for a British passport. After that date, if you became a British Overseas Territory citizen, you didn't automatically then become a British citizen. You had to apply to be registered as a British citizen as well. So again, one of the things that we may want to look at is whether or not we want to remove that particular section in Section 36, subsection 4 in our immigration legislation that automatically gives a person the right to reside in the islands by virtue of the fact that they have obtained their British Overseas Territory citizenship by entitlement, something that we may want to look at, carefully look at with that, and whether or not the UK would be amenable to that. And for those of you, and I've said this before as well, currently we have no say, or legislators or parliament, we have no say whatsoever in terms of the crafting of the British Nationality Act that affects us. Whether or not they would be, we would have the ears of the UK in relation to that, I don't know. I believe that that they should hear us because it certainly affects us. And we have heard the minister with responsibility for Caymanian employment and immigration speak to the fact that the UK has basically given their assent to the changes that we have made in relation to permanent residence, and then putting a fixed date on that up until a certain period of time, so that we now extend the period of time after you become a resident. We put a time limit on that, and then 5 years after that time period, then you can apply for permanent residence. And the UK has agreed with that. One of the reasons I believe they agreed with that is because they realize that the type of Caymanian status and permanent residence that we offer here in the Cayman Islands has so much to do with a person's financial status or their ability to earn, and that may be viewed as some type of what is it called again in the, that they refer to in the citizenship by something it is called there, and they see that as akin to that. They realize that the stages, the steps, British Overseas Territory citizen, then you apply after a year, you apply to be registered as a British citizen, and then you become a British citizen. And what are your options? Not options, what are your rights then? To go and live in the United Kingdom. And there are some people in the Cayman Islands whose ultimate aim, ultimate goal is to obtain permanent residence, become a British Overseas Territory citizen, then become a British citizen, and then take kith and kin, all the family, and go over to the UK. And we know how the UK is reacting to that in this day and age. And if any of you, if you're keeping track of what's happening in UK politics, and I have said this before, beware if the Reform Party has any say whatsoever in terms of forming a government or a coalition government. Because if you believe when Theresa May said that we're going to create a hostile environment for immigrants in the UK, you ain't saying nothing yet if reform becomes a part of that, because we know what Nigel Farage's intents are. With that, we're going to go to a commercial break. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Cineco's parametric insurance after hurricanes is now available for motor policies. Fixed automatic payouts cover incidental vehicle expenses like fuel, cleanup, and minor repairs. No claims, no damage required. $200 for comprehensive policies or $100 for third-party policies. Available exclusively through Cineco and included with all new motor insurance policies and upon renewal for current policies. Visit Cineco.ky today. Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite band-aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. But don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
Your dream home starts with a vision, and often inspiration is at the heart of that vision. Brand Source Home Gallery's in-house designers are here to help bring your vision to life. Whether you're remodeling or building a new home, Brand Source Home Gallery is your one-stop solution. Explore their kitchen cabinets, sinks, faucets, bath fixtures, tubs, vanities, and more. Let Brand Source's designers help and inspire you with your next project. Call 623-5000 and schedule an appointment with a design expert at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
Cayman Art Week is back and bigger than ever, with art on show at over 50 venues across all 3 islands from Tuesday the 26th to Sunday the 31st of May. From one-off pop-ups and creative collaborations to open studios and late-night gallery hours, all events are free and there's art on sale for every budget. Join a guided bus tour or visit at your own pace. You'll find everything you need to know at CaymanArtWeek.com.
The Spring Labor Force Survey and Quality of Life Survey conducted by the Economics and Statistics Office is currently underway. The Labor Force Survey collects information on employment and unemployment in the Cayman Islands, while the Quality of Life Survey gathers feedback on well-being, financial security, community belonging, and overall life satisfaction. Trained interviewers with official ESO ID cards will visit randomly selected households. All interviews are confidential under the Statistics Act, and no individual information will be published. For details, call the ESO hotline at 516-3329.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We have 2 callers on hold. Let's grab the first caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. Connor.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
Oh, I'm grateful. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Okay. I was hoping I would be the only caller, that you would brush me off, but someone was thinking like being called right after me, obviously. Sorry. Mr. Connor, I want to ask you a couple of questions, please.
Sure.
Okay. The first one is, if you remember, when did the Cayman Status law come into effect? Was that 76 or 78? Or I know it's somewhere.
Well, we had the Caymanian Protection Law came into effect in 1972.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But there was a time when, after being in Cayman for a certain amount of time, let's just say a foreign national married a Caymanian, and I think it was. In the case I'm asking about, or why I bring it up, it was the man is foreign national, married to a Caymanian, relocated, came to Cayman with her, but could not gain any Cayman, I'm going to say papers, until I think 7 years of being resident here or being married to the Caymanian. And then they could apply for whatever was given at that time. And as far as I remember, you only got a Cayman passport. And shortly after that, then this Cayman status came in. That's what I was trying to remember. When did that come into effect?
Can you repeat that last part about you could only get a Cayman passport?
No, I said at that time,
mm-hmm.
the only thing that was given to the person was a Cayman passport.
That was either male or female?
Well, the case I'm speaking about, the male was the foreign national. That was back in the days when you claimed your father's nationality. Okay? And so, like I said, it was either after 7 years of marriage or either after 7 years of being resident in Cayman. You could then apply.
We had a change. We had a change in 1984. 1984, the immigration law, which introduced a lot of that. But prior to that, a woman could obtain her citizenship by virtue of the husband, but it wasn't the other way around. It wasn't where a husband could obtain it through the wife.
Right.
Yeah.
But I only brought that up to help with the question. Because my question is, at that time, that's how it was. But then afterwards, then you heard about Cayman status. I was trying to remember what year did the Cayman status law come into effect. Was it 76, 78, or something like that?
That was in the 72 law as well. I at one point in time, I thought that status wasn't actually mentioned, but when I went and reviewed the 72 law, Caymanian status is mentioned there. So it's always, even though some referred to it as belonger, it was always in there from 1972.
Okay. All right. So maybe in this case, the person wasn't eligible till perhaps around 76 or 78. Okay. And then it changed that the father was not the primary, I'm going to say nationality person. We know that changed at some stage, as you were just alluding to.
1984 under the British Nationality Act.
Right, exactly. Okay. So that's that. And you may or may not know this, because I'm a bit confused by it, but, the laws are changing. I was speaking to someone recently, and they told me that they had applied for a British passport, a UK passport, and this person is naturalized. They have been living here for probably 40 to 50 years. And they told me that they were refused because, or it was sent back and said that they needed to provide a residence, a UK residence. Have you heard about that, or?
No, I haven't, but it may appear logical, but it wouldn't necessarily have to be a UK residence. I would have thought that being a British overseas, being in a overseas territory, it would be the same as well. Because remember, in terms of when you apply for citizenship, and in particular a passport, they want to determine to be satisfied that of your intent to reside in the jurisdiction. They don't want it to be of convenience. They want it there to, yeah.
Well, like I said, this is a naturalized person. I'm sure they have lived in Cayman much longer than the country of their birth. It was their first application because I questioned them. I said, but don't you have a Cayman passport? Aren't you naturalized? And so they said yes. And in fact, I know that the person is married to a Caymanian. But they said when they applied, mind you, their child applied and their child got it. When they applied, they said that they wanted a resident. They had to provide a residence in the UK. And I questioned it some more because I said something doesn't sound right about that. And I then told them maybe they should go to, one of these agencies.
Or even the passport office. They would know about it. Ms. Jan would know something like that if there was a change.
I also suggested that to them, but they said that they also questioned it, but that is what it said. So with that, then of course, the application was not approved. And so I suggested, well, go to one of these agencies that does this all the time. Maybe you're misunderstanding what was asked of you, or maybe you put something on your form that led them to ask that question. Because, you know, that's why sometimes, well, personally, a lot of these things have become so much of a headache. I said rather just pay somebody to do it for me. Because even applying now, or even now renewing your Cayman passport, there's a change in the law there that I was not aware of. And I just renewed mine back in January, took the forms in. Young man looked over the forms and said I was missing something. I said, what's that? An affidavit. I said, what I need that for? And he told me. I said, well, then did that come into effect? And he pulled the form out, showed it to me. It came into effect in 2019. I said, well, I've never heard of this, never heard any, public announcements or press briefing or anything. He said, well, the UK have asked for it, and now we have to make sure that we have it. And I said, well, could I make a suggestion to you then? When people come to collect, when people come to collect the passport forms, maybe you should attach this to it. So I had to go off, get what they were asking me for, and then take my forms back in.
Okay. What I'll do is I'll look to see, because like you said, they're constantly changing, to see what changes the UK has made in relation to applications and things of that nature, to see if we can get a clear picture of why this person would be required to provide an address in the United Kingdom.
Right.
Yeah, I will certainly do that.
Okay. And just one last question, and to your other caller, please just bear with me. I'm sorry. I heard you the other morning reading out something from the law. It was to do with the grant of Cayman status and also the right to revoke it. And I think you said the law was 2022, where it says that under this law, a status could be revoked, even one that was granted under a previous law. Now, the reason I asked that is for my own clarification, and perhaps I'm wrong. In the very, very beginning, when statuses were being granted, there were no conditions attached. So they were basically deemed irrevocable. So if I understood what you read out correctly, it means that law has now superseded whatever was there previous.
They have covered that.
So
it
I
says
understood that correctly then. Okay. All right. Just wanted to make sure I understood it correctly.
Yep.
So based on that, we would say that no status is any longer irrevocable.
No, well, there's an operative word in there. The operative word is grant. It has to be granted. It says where the grantee of the right to be Caymanian or Caymanian status under this or any earlier law is convicted by any court, and things of that nature. So it has to be that it was granted to you as opposed to you being entitled to it, which means that there's no, as long as you qualify under the law, there's no discretion in terms of granting it. But if it is granted to you by a board, by a body, and some people have argued that must mean also by cabinet that it can be revoked.
Well, what I omitted was the word grant.
Yeah.
But I don't think it changes the circle. Well, perhaps because grants are given, as you say, on the different umbrellas. It could be, basically by a Caymanian parent or.
But it's just the difference is it's discretionary as opposed to by operation of the law, discretionary. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We're going to take that next caller as soon as we return from this commercial break. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Babe, not tonight. You keep poking me and I need to be rested for meetings tomorrow.
What? I was almost asleep. That's the mattress spring I keep telling you about, not me. We really need to get a new mattress.
Tossing and turning, back hurting, can't sleep? It might be time to turn in your old mattress and go to bed with a new one. Browse the huge mattress showroom at Brand Source Home Gallery and pick the perfect mattress today. With mattresses to suit every budget, Brand Source Home Gallery stocks a wide selection of sizes and styles like pillow top and gel memory foam. So stop tossing and turning and sleep better tonight with a new mattress from Brand Source Home Gallery, Dawson Drive, Industrial Park.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Fet lovers, this is your moment. Fet for a Cause is calling and space is limited. Shirts moving fast. Monokinis almost gone. Don't wait till it's too late. Secure your spot now and be part of something bigger. A Fet with purpose. Head over to the boxoffice.ky right now. Place your order and lock in your experience. Fet, give back. Make it count. Fet for a Cause. Don't miss it. Carnival sponsors: AI Rentals, CarQuest, Ace, Parkers, Coca-Cola, Tortuga, Stingray Media, Vitamin Shop, Radio Cayman, Mike's Ice, Get Nailed and more, Valvoline, and D&B Audio Technic.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. I haven't had a chance yet to get to the Vibes Cartel performance in the Cayman Islands, but hopefully I will. Let's grab our next caller who's been waiting for some time. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Yeah, good morning, Osi.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm very thankful. As I go around, different spheres, just going around, listening to people. Oh boy, they complain about the price of gas. And some of them is the big Trump fans. Whether you elect a clown, you get a circus. So that's what we got now, right? They elected a clown. No, they got a circus now. Boy, I'm so happy for them. Even though it hurt my pocket, I'm so happy for them as well. What I was really calling about is the issue with Canova. I don't condone in wrongdoing, but let's face it now. This man has been. I didn't even take that Canova wasn't born here.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize that until this thing all came to light. But where is this man going to go and live now? Where is he really going to go and live now?
Well,
I mean, it is really mind-boggling that the man is going to be punished by the revocation of his status here in Cayman.
Mm-hmm.
What, like I said, I'm not condoning any wrongdoings, right? I ain't condoning that. He was convicted by a jury, I believe it was a jury, but the essence of it is that the man only knows Cayman to be his home.
Mm-hmm. But, caller, I think we should bear in mind that so far, all that has taken place has been the revocation of his Caymanian status. And I believe in revoking his status that the permanent residency and status and permanent residency board advised him, based on the reports that I'm seeing, advised him that he should then contact Customs and Border Control to regularize his stay in the Cayman Islands. Now, that is why I've been talking about this particular section of the our immigration legislation in relation to registration by entitlement. We don't know if he's a British Overseas Territory citizen and under what grounds he obtained that, because he may still enjoy the right to reside in the Cayman Islands despite the fact that his status has been revoked. So he may still have the right to reside here, but it would be with limitations. For instance, he couldn't own a business. He would have to be the 40% or the minority shareholder in that business, and he couldn't work without approval to work, either through a work permit or being exempted from the requirements of a work permit by cabinet.
I see. Yeah, I just I just saw it and I thought for a second, that how fair can this be to the mind? I mean, I'm just speaking about from one human to the next, not about anything other than that. I mean, I just thinking, how do you do that to someone? How humane can that be? But anyway, yeah, I get what you said, and thanks for that, Osi.
Okay.
And you have a good weekend, man.
Thank you very much. You're most welcome as well. So, folks, very quickly, I'm going to start with what has been published in our local newspaper. So, in Mr. James Whitaker on the 23rd of April of this year, wrote an article, Vibes Check. Controversial performer faces lyrics restriction for Cayman debut. Right? And it says, when controversial Jamaican dancehall superstar Vibes Cartel performs in Cayman next month, immigration enforcement officers will be listening. The artist, whose real name is Adidja Palmer, is known for his sexually explicit content, including Romping Shop, a graphic 2010 duet that drew widespread controversy, as well as mainstream hits such as Fever and Clark's. But his permit to perform in Cayman carries restrictions on his movement and lyrics. Premier Andre Ebanks told concerned constituents at a community meeting in West Bay this week. Vibes Cartel is headlining the Out of the World Music Fest on the 30th of May. The 50-year-old spent nearly 13 years in prison after being convicted of the 2011 murder of Clive Lizard Williams, after the longest trial in Jamaican legal history. He maintained his innocence, and his conviction was overturned in March of 2024 by the Privy Council in London amid a jury tampering controversy that the court decided made the conviction unsafe. Jamaica's Court of Appeal subsequently declined to order a retrial, citing his deteriorating health and the time already served, and he was formally acquitted and released. Answering concerns raised by community members at a West Bay constituency meeting this week, that's in April, the Premier said Cabinet's hands had been legally constrained. I like that terminology. Cabinet's hands had been legally constrained. Doesn't say that Cabinet's hands were tied or handcuffed, meaning that you can't get out. It's like legally restrained. It's like you're in a fight and you're being aggressive and you're going towards your opponent, but you're quietly saying in the background to the person, hold me. I'm gonna get him. Hold me. I'm gonna get him. Hold me. Let me get to him. Hold me. So I'm just interpreting that phrase there. It says legally constrained. I have to look up the definition of legally constrained to see exactly what it is, but it doesn't seem as if their hands were completely tied. Just my comments, folks, in relation to that. Goes on to say that the facts presented is that he did not meet the definition of a prohibited immigrant, so there wasn't any legal grounds to refuse him. Remember now that we can control who enters and does not enter the Cayman Islands. That is something that is left to our discretion. What about the public interest? What about the public good? As well. Says Ebanks, and I won't say Ebanks, but Premier Ebanks said the minister responsible for border control had subsequently sought cabinet approval for a restricted entry permit because the performer could have legally entered the country on a tourist permit anyway. He said this approach gave government flexibility to add conditions. Okay, quite possibly he could have entered on a tourist permit, or he may have required a visa to enter, which we would have to grant as well, unless he was in possession of a U.S. Visa, I believe, and I'm not sure whether or not that part requires you traveling directly from the United States. But again, questionable as to whether or not he would have been able to enter here on a tourist permit. And I would say the exception to that would be if he required a visa, then we would have to grant the visa to him anyway. The article goes on to say the entry visa restriction is what contains the behavior and the modifications around movement and also lyrics, he told the meeting, though he did not elaborate on how any lyric restrictions would be defined or enforced. The decision drew pushback from at least two audience members, one of whom described Cartel's content as slackness, quote unquote slackness, and asked what background checks had been conducted. I sent you a few of his vulgar videos, she told the premier directly. Is this what you are expecting to see when he comes here to perform? Premier Ebanks said cabinet was faced with a legal decision, not an editorial one. When making such decisions, he said the executive periodically received requests to review applications on behalf of performers that many of them knew very little about. It's not an entertainment music video that we watch. What comes through is a legal decision, he said. Then there's a part there that talks about after release, the artist has changed his tune, as well. I mean, cabinet to me is laying bare their vulnerability in terms of, who they can restrict from coming, entering these islands as well. The other question that we have in relation to this is, so cabinet didn't issue an entry permit. So why not just simply leave the request for an application for work permit to perform in the Cayman Islands to the director of work, and let the director of work use his discretion in relation to that? Or is this related only to his entry into the Cayman Islands, something that I believe that Cabinet has the power to do under our Constitution, to control entry and residence in the Cayman Islands? I must say there are people who are not pleased with this. We need to take our last commercial break, and we do have a caller on hold. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
At Kirk's Home Center, we can make your life much better. We got it all together. We got a great deal in store for you. From cookware to stereos, from power tools to plumbing supplies. Yeah, we got the best goods with the best price and a service to make you smile. Kirk's Home Center, we got a great deal in store for you.
Cineco's parametric insurance after hurricanes is now available for motor policies. Fixed automatic payouts cover incidental vehicle expenses like fuel, cleanup, and minor repairs. No claims, no damage required. $200 for comprehensive policies or $100 for third-party policies. Available exclusively through Cineco and included with all new motor insurance policies and upon renewal for current policies. Visit Cineco.ky today. Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
This year, we're taking the Fet for a Cause one step further. Welcome to One Fet. Get ready for an unforgettable night featuring some of the top DJs on island, bringing you the ultimate vibe. From start to finish is pure vibes, good energy, and non-stop music. And the best part, 100% of the proceeds go towards supporting the Cayman Islands Cancer Society and autism acceptance. So this year, you're not just partying, you're partying with a purpose. It all kicks off Friday, May 22nd, 8 p.m. at Sandbar. Don't miss your chance to be a part of something bigger. Get your tickets now at the box office.ky and get ready to take over the streets on Saturday, May 23rd with the Fet for a Cause family. One Fet, one vibe, one cause, one unforgettable experience. One Fet sponsors AI Rentals, CarQuest, Ace, Parker's, Coca-Cola, Tortuga, Stingray Media, Sandbar, Mike's Ice, Radio Cayman, Valvoline, and DNB Audio Technic.
Cayman Art Week is back and bigger than ever, with art on show at over 50 venues across all 3 islands from Tuesday the 26th to Sunday the 31st of May. From one-off pop-ups and creative collaborations to open studios and late-night gallery hours, all events are free and there's art on sale for every budget. Join a guided bus tour or visit at your own pace. You'll find everything you need to know at CaymanArtWeek.com.
Attention Georgetown residents, the Department of Environmental Health Georgetown Bulk Waste Collection will take place between May 11th to 16th. This bulk waste collection will replace the traditional year-end collection. Household appliances, furniture, and other items too large to be handled by the weekly DEH collection crews should be placed by the roadside where it is easily accessible to DEH collection crews. Metals and vegetation should also be separated from other bulk items. Do not obstruct the roadway or storm drains, or place tires, construction, and demolition waste, hazardous materials, or electronics. For more information on the Georgetown Bulk Waste Collection from May 11th to 16th, please contact DEH's Solid Waste Management Section at 949-6696.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We have 2 callers and less than 8 minutes to go in the show. So we're asking each caller to please be as brief as possible. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning again, Mr. Connor.
Good morning.
I guess people are playing telepathy with me because... Anyway, I wanted to weigh in on this Vibes Cartel thing.
Mm-hmm.
just to say that I think that what has provoked people the most about this is that his permit was granted through cabinet and not through immigration. You, as the chief immigration officer, know and will remember that anytime entertainers were coming here, you asked for certain criteria. Back then, it was VHS tapes showing, even if they were familiar to the island, they had to submit it all the time. And immigration would make a decision as to whether this permit would be granted. They didn't even have to have a criminal record. But once you as in immigration deemed, that it wasn't proper, it was denied. Now, I find this very troubling that this would have been granted by cabinet, because I don't think a matter such as this should have even gone to cabinet. And if it went to cabinet, cabinet should have said, no, go to immigration, let immigration deal with it.
I'm not sure the cabinet can grant permits. The cabinet can exempt a person from the requirements of a work permit, but I'm not sure that cabinet can grant a work permit.
Well, let me just tell you what I was told.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the persons organizing a petition and a protest or whatever it is that they're doing, they told me they went to immigration and immigration said to them, you're screaming at the wrong people. We had nothing to do with it. It was cabinet. So either the promoter went to immigration denied it, they then went to cabinet, they granted it, or the promoter leapfrogged and went straight to cabinet. But my point on it is, this is not a matter the cabinet should even have gotten involved in. Even if the person leapfrogged and came to them first, they should have said, you have to go through the proper channels like everyone else does. I think that is the part of it, apart from his vulgarity, his spewing of violence and so on. While he may have been acquitted on a technicality, it doesn't change the fact he was convicted of murder. And that drew a lot of other people into his matter who were subsequently penalized. But yet he's gone scot-free. And him being sick now, yes, I hope that he will be well and continue to be well, but that was no reason to show him any leniency. People like that, I am sorry, that's not a good look for us. It's a bad precedent that they have set, because when the next one comes along, how do you say no to that? And if immigration denies it, they're going to appeal it to cabinet. Cabinet should not be dealing with those matters. That's an immigration matter. It does not even have to go before a board. So let immigration deal with it, and whatever decision they make, unless it's absolutely unfair, prejudice, bias, or whatever, then let that position stand.
Thank you very much, caller. Thank you. Let's grab our last caller. And I just want to say very quickly also, in my day at immigration, I was faced with a similar situation with Capleton. And at that time, Capleton had Paul. I don't know if you remember. You go back those days. You remember Capleton had a song about fire, and people were fearful here in the Cayman Islands that it may influence youngsters and stuff like that to cause fire. So I had to make a decision with Capleton and Lady Saw as well at the same time as the chief immigration officer. Let's grab our last caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. What's up?
Mr. Gort. Good morning, Mr. Orrett.
Good morning. Good morning.
I haven't called in on your show, but
that's
I felt compelled to. I found a little time in my morning to call in and express how I feel about this Vibes Cartel show as well. I think it's very important that the young people, not only just the old people, to make a discretion about this. And then the way how I look at it, right, is that we are living in a time of disclosure. Right, so the truth comes out, facts come out, everything comes out. People deny the facts sometimes, but that's on their problem, and not ours. So I look at it like this, right? Jeffrey Epstein served 13 months in prison, right? He got out. He was released out. He was supposed to serve initially 18 months. He went back in. He was arrested again before he committed suicide. The man now, right? He was a man that used to be a philanthropic capitalist. he used to donate a lot of money to polio and all these other nice little goods that the people like to look at as a beautiful painting. But then when they look at his criminal records, the criminal activities and all these different type of things, do you think that just because you did a good cause that you become a good person if you're terrible? This is the same way how I look at it. I'm not painting him as the same picture with Jeffrey Epstein, but I was using Jeffrey Epstein as an example of a convicted criminal. And this guy was also convicted, but he spent way more time in prison for his actions. Whether he was a part of it or not, he continued maintaining his innocence. This guy had the lyrics. This guy had the influence. This guy had started all of this thing that the people are, the adults mainly, the parents mainly, and the grandparents mainly have a very well interest in the influence that this guy has been doing to keep it away from our youths. And I know, yes, this is not about the youths because we're not inviting children into this. But I can guarantee you, like all the other Jamaican artists that they had, he's going to visit the schools under certain conditions. I do not think that this guy represents anything having to do with our heritage, our culture, and anything having to do with our education in the Cayman Islands. I just stand to say that. And anyone want to debate on me about that, I'm free to be. You can meet me anywhere.
Okay.
Talk about it. But this is the type of thing that we are introducing in our Cayman Islands, in our islands that we so love. And then we're trying to protect our future and then we'll try rotting it with some more subliminal messages.
Okay. I'm
hurt my heart for the youths.
Yeah. Thank you for expressing yourself. And, good to hear it coming from you as a youngster here in the Cayman Islands. Good to hear that.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. One of our listeners wrote and said the added grievance for me is that 2 government ministers supported the concert. There was no legal constraints about that. There was a clear decision by the government. Let's see if the ministers will be in attendance at the concert and posing for pictures. And then they go on to write disappointing. Folks, if you're curious about some of the powers that we have, that the law allows in the Cayman Islands, you may want to take a look at Section 94 of the Customs and Border Control Act. I believe that's what it is called. It relates to entry by persons other than Caymanians or persons legally and ordinarily resident in the Cayman Islands. And it starts by saying persons other than those referred to in Section 93, and I would have to go back to look at that, can't do it now, and who are not prohibited immigrants may be granted permission. Remember that word now. Take notice of that word, may be granted permission. It doesn't say must be granted permission. That means that it's obligatory for you to allow them to enter. It says may be granted permission to land in the islands as visitors for a period of up to 6 months, subject to extension from time to time. So that has to do with visitors, but someone coming here on a temporary work permit, they're basically coming as a visitor who obtains a temporary work permit as well. Folks, if we are saying that the government's hands, well, they said their hands were constrained. They didn't say that they were tied, they were constrained. If under these circumstances, the government's hands were constrained, and I'm no lawyer, and there are legal implications in all of this, then it brings into question in terms of how much power do we have, does our government have in terms of regulating entry and into the Cayman Islands? That would be my question in relation to that. 1 second. Because remember, bearing in mind, I think I had a constitution up here on the Bill of Rights. I can't. I simply don't have enough time. We'll have to do it. Monday's a holiday, right, Paul? Monday's a holiday, so on Wednesday. Folks, I want to thank all of you who listened, those of you who sent in comments, questions as well. I may not have been able to cover all of them, but the conversation has been extremely important. One of our listeners said, I agree with your last two callers as well. I think whether or not that petition is still going forward, those of you who disagree with the decision, some people may argue to allow Vibes Cartel to perform in the Cayman Islands. Those of you, some may argue that, well, if you don't want to hear it, then you don't have to go. No one is forcing you to go. I believe that using that argument is a cop-out. It means more than that. And that is why I shared with you this morning the preamble to our Constitution and our aspirational as well as the factual issues in relation to our Christian heritage, to our morality and everything else. It goes beyond that. Like they say, you are what you eat. Well, you are who you allow to perform for you. My words. That may sound a little bit corny, but that is the truth. This is a serious matter. Like I said in Capleton, and it had to do with fire. It had to do, with the song Fire. Nothing to do with sexualizing women or degrading women and things of that nature. And Lady Saw, at that time, she wasn't into the Christian part of entertainment. And I had an issue that I had to deal, with there in terms of an application for a temporary work permit when I was the chief immigration officer as well. But this decision will certainly reflect one way or the other in terms of our moral compass here in the Cayman Islands. And it will also speak to, who has influence, who has control, whether or not it is the will of the majority of the people of the Cayman Islands, or whether in this particular case we acquiesce to the will of the minority. With that, folks, have a great weekend. Please stay safe during the holiday weekend. Don't forget, join Mr. Charles Glidden Shallow at 12:15 for Talk Today. And as usual, we ask the good Lord to continue to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
For the Record, proudly brought to you by
Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. Doctor's Hospital, peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctor's Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. Kirk Market, experience a world of choice. JN Money, from abroad to Yad. And Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
Yesterday